Keith, I'm going to read a little bit of your bio.
Okay.
That Keith Giles is a former pastor. He left the pulpit to follow Jesus. Stop right there. Because what does it mean to, as a former pastor, to now follow Jesus?
Yeah, well, that's in reference to what happened to me several years ago. I was on staff at a church that my wife and I had helped to plant in Southern California, Orange County, California. And about 3.5 years into that, we were doing children's ministry, and we were doing what we call compassion ministry, which was, trying to help people that are living in poverty, families living in motels and homeless and things like that. So we really loved it, but the more we were involved in that church, and especially specifically in that ministry to compassion ministry, it just slowly became obvious to me that as much as the church was very, very, very generous and very willing to pay me to do that, work, my conviction and my wife's conviction at the time was like, this every Christian should be doing this. Like, honestly, you guys should. If we're doing it correctly, if we're going to follow Jesus, and the things that Jesus commanded us to do is care for the poor, the widow, the orphan, the stranger, and those kinds of things. It's like, why are you just paying me to do it? Like, we should all be doing these things. And the more I tried to talk to the other pastors on staff about that, and even the opportunities that I had to talk to the church, it just seemed more and more like that wasn't something they were interested in. And so it kind of came to a place where, without getting too deep into the weeds, I had read a couple of things that really spoke to me. And so I just kind of tested them, and I sent them to the pastors to see if they would have a similar reaction. And none of them did. Every one of them was like, oh, this person is unrealistic. And, again, it was all about how the early church cared for the poor, and for 300 years had this incredible compassion for people in need and that kind of thing. So that's what led to my wife and I leaving that church. And what we did was, that's how we kind of phrase it. I'm stepping away from the pulpit to follow Jesus, because for us, following Jesus was starting what ended up becoming a house church community that just met in different people's homes. I didn't take a salary. No one, 100% of the offering that was collected was put into a basket and went to, pay rent for single moms, and buy shoes for people that were homeless, and buy groceries for families living in motels with their families and stuff. And we did that for 11 years. And that was, I would say that's the best thing I've ever done with the word church on it. Yeah, it felt like, and the thing is, those are the things I wanted to do when I was in the church, and the church was not open to that. So it was like we had to leave the church to kind of fulfill this vision and this mission, which is, for us, we felt like it's something that the church should have been open to automatically, sure. And they didn't get it. We couldn't help them to see it, so we had to leave and do that ourselves.
To leave the church to follow Jesus.